Today we're taking a look at the Miami Heat vs Milwaukee Bucks match, which is happening on Saturday, May 29, 2021, and giving you my betting tips and predictions in general on this game. Welcome back to High Stakes. Let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos. And if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. 5 plans are available for each and every one of you. You can get 30 extra betting picks all the way up to 270 extra betting picks per month. Stop wasting hours and hours of your time searching the internet for some fake betting predictions and losing your money because of it. Join High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks and advices instantly. Milwaukee has dropped the hammer in the last 2 games of this series after winning Game 1 in overtime. The Bucks have outscored the Heat by a combined 63 points in Games 2 and 3, putting them in the driver's seat in this series. In Game 3, Milwaukee rolled to a 12-point edge after the opening quarter and didn't look back as they went on to the victory. The Heat have a feasible option with Adebayo guarding Antetokounmpo, but this creates problems with guarding bigs like Brook Lopez because the Heat would either allow a huge mismatch or have to play a big like Dwayne Dedmon alongside Adebayo. They opted against doing that in the regular season due to spacing issues on offense. The Bucks shooters have also improved significantly from last season. They have taken advantage of the Heat's poor off-ball defenders on the perimeter like Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Herro. Milwaukee shooters like Bryn Forbes, Pat Connaughton, PJ Tucker and Chris Middleton have made the most of their open looks. Milwaukee's increased shooting depth is important against the Heat's defense that allowed the fewest points in the paint in the regular season. Replacing Eric Bledsoe's poor shooting, along with these players getting more opportunities, has made a huge difference while the Heat's shooting has taken a step back. The Bucks led by as many as 32 in the contest as they weren't seriously challenged after the half. Milwaukee shot 48.3% from the field, including 13 of 36 from three-point range, and controlled the glass 55-42 in the game. Chris Middleton led 6 Bucks in double figures with 22 points, 8 rebounds and 5 assists in the victory. With the Heat's backs against the wall, expect them to give the Bucks their best shot at home and be competitive in the first half, as this team won't go down without a fight. Miami hung tough in the opener of this series, but they were hammered in Games 2 and 3, putting them in a massive 3-0 series hole. The Heat now has to try and regroup from their struggles in hopes of keeping their season alive here. Miami's lone lead in Game 3 was a 2-0 edge. They gave up the next 6 points and never got back to even again. Putting Antetokounmpo on Butler has been an effective way of limiting his looks near the rim, and the Greek Freak's incredible length has also bothered Butler as a pick-and-roll distributor. Crowder was also a much better screener and three-point shooter, making over 40% in the upset over the Bucks in the bubble, than Ariza, which hurts Butler's ability to get into the paint because of less spacing and less separation when Butler is a pick-and-roll ball handler. The Bucks have dared the Heat's shooters to beat them, and they haven't been good enough. Miami ranks dead last among playoff teams by shooting just 38% from the field. The problem with the Heat relying on players like Nunn, Herro, Dragic and Duncan Robinson to make shots is that the Bucks have longer and more athletic players who can take advantage of them defensively. The Heat missed too many makeable shots in Game 3 early on as they dug themselves an insurmountable hole, but I expect their shooting to regress to the mean in Game 4. However, the Heat's shooting needs to be significantly better than average to overcompensate for their significant defensive shortcomings. The Heat trailed by 12 after the opening quarter, by 13 at the half and by as many as 32 in the second half en route to the loss. Miami shot only 37.6% from the field, including 9 of 32 from three-point range, and lost the rebounding battle by a 55-42 margin. Jimmy Butler led the Heat with 19 points, 8 rebounds and 6 assists in the loss. The Heat need their shooters, other than elite sharpshooter Robinson, who should take as many shots as possible, to overperform in order to make up for their defensive shortcomings on the perimeter. The Miami Heat may be the most disappointing team in the NBA this season, although they have some competition from the Celtics and possibly the Clippers, but we'll see how that series turns out. The Heat are just done, ready for the offseason, and that was evident in their lackluster performance in Game 3. This weakness is precisely why the Heat traded Kelly Olynyk, whose size and pick-and-pop presence they sorely miss in the matchup, for Victor Oladipo. However, Oladipo's season-ending quad injury leaves the Heat without many feasible options to defend on the perimeter at a high level and also put pressure on the rim beyond Butler and Adebayo. My first betting advice for that game is to pick Bucks minus 4.5. The Milwaukee Bucks have clearly outclassed the Miami Heat in this series. They blew out the Heat on Thursday 113-84 to take an insurmountable 3-0 lead in the first-round series. After an overtime win in Game 1, the Bucks have obliterated the Heat in the last 2 games. The Milwaukee Bucks look to complete the sweep and advance to the next round. The Milwaukee Bucks are averaging 118 points on 47% shooting and allowing 96.3 points on 38% shooting. Giannis Antetokounmpo is averaging 24.7 points and 16 rebounds, while Chris Middleton is averaging 22 points and 4.7 assists. Jrue Holiday is the third double-digit scorer, and Brook Lopez is grabbing 6.3 rebounds. The Milwaukee Bucks are shooting 33.3% from beyond the arc and 73.2% from the free throw line. The Milwaukee Bucks are allowing 33.6% shooting from deep and are grabbing 60 rebounds per game. The Bucks shot 48% and held the Heat to only 37% shooting and just 9 three-pointers. Chris Middleton led the Bucks with 22 points, while Jrue Holiday had 19 points and 12 assists. Giannis Antetokounmpo filled up the stat sheet with 17 points and 17 rebounds. Dante DiVincenzo left the game after only 9 minutes with a foot contusion, and he is questionable for Saturday. The Miami Heat are done. The defending Eastern Conference champions are down 3-0 in their first-round series and have showed very little fight. It seems they have packed it in already. They got blown out once again in Game 3, losing 113-84. The Heat only shot 37% from the field and were out-rebounded 55-42. The Miami Heat need a win to save their season and force a Game 5 on Tuesday. The Miami Heat are averaging 96.3 points on 38% shooting and allowing 118 points on 47% shooting. Goran Dragic is averaging 17 points and 2.3 assists, while Jimmy Butler is averaging 15.3 points and 6.7 rebounds. Bam Adebayo is the third double-digit scorer, and Duncan Robinson is grabbing 3 rebounds. The Miami Heat are shooting 33.6% from beyond the arc and 74.6% from the free throw line. The Miami Heat are allowing 33.3% shooting from deep and are grabbing 43 rebounds per game. It seems as if the Heat are coming to an end of a disappointing season that will likely result in changes next year. Only 3 Heat players were in double figures: Jimmy Butler, who had 19 points, Bam Adebayo, who had 17 points, and Nemanja Bjelica, who had 14 points off the bench. Just ugly all around. My second betting advice for that game is to pick under 223.5. Good luck to all of you. That's it for this video. Stay tuned and stay safe for the next betting tips and advice.